certain obstacles really well
Mm-hmm.
in training. If the environment's impacting them a little bit, you can almost kind of bank on getting like 70% of what
Mhm.
you're used to getting.
Okay.
And if you're getting less than 70%, the environment's probably impacting them too much. And if you're getting more than 70%, then they're probably doing pretty well.
Okay.
And, you know, results may vary.
And I wonder too, when we run standard, when we did it last week and this week, like we show up at 2:30 and we run at 3. And since this is a weekday night trial, there's only like 2 or 3 dogs there at that time, and not any of the master people, nothing. So I wonder if that's, you know, when we're doing that, it's quiet, it's ghost town, we're doing our thing. I mean, it's not super quiet, but you know. But then, because, you know, Hazel has lots of feelings and we're working on her feelings, by the time we run time to beat, more master people are there, there's more dogs, there's more, you know, and she's barking in her crate, and I'm trying to give her stuff to calm her down. So I think that may be part of it too. She's using a lot of mental energy to filter.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely will impact things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good to know. Like when it's quieter, she's good. Yeah, it just looks like she didn't slow down for the table.
Oh, good. You got it. Okay.
No big deal.
Okay.
It's coming in pretty fast. She's doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's very good.
Well, thank you.
Okay, the dog walk.
Yeah. That threw me. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, she's a dog. She's a,
Yeah.
I don't know if she's looking at something else or not, but like,
Okay.
it could just be I'm going fast, and the dog, like, she did have to fix the lines of the dog walk a little bit. So I actually think her trajectory was almost for passing it. And then maybe she couldn't quite get herself situated, like all of her legs underneath her body enough to like actually navigate the dog walk.
Okay.
I'm not worried about that at all, unless it, you know, happens 100 more times. Because it's not going to.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah, so if you definitely notice that, like, time or later in the day when there are more people, that it's harder for her, then you might just pare down what you're asking her to do.
I'm going to pare it down, and I'm going to park farther away.
Yeah.
This particular site, you can literally park, like, I don't know, like right by the ring. You know, you're creating your car, you step out, you know, and you're at the ring. So a lot of public. So I'm going to park farther away for sure today.
Perfect.
Okay.
Have a great time.
Thank you, and thanks for all your help. And
You're welcome.
I keep in mind, I'm like, I want a feral dog out there, which she is. Like, I'm going for it.
She's going, like, exactly. Like, I think she's being really quite normal. Like.
Yeah. Okay, good. I just need to work on the A-frame. Like,
she's definitely like,
yes.
She's connected the behavior to you, so that's great information.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Megan, so much.
You're welcome. All right. I saw Stephanie's hand go up, and then Karen, I see you there. Unless there's some time restriction, then we can fudge things a little bit.
Yeah, Karen needs to go first. I can wait. She's on the time crunch. I'm just working.
It doesn't matter either way to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Okay. Took Moody to a UKI. Did one run of speed stakes.
Did one this weekend. This Karen's doing a UKI. Just leaving and having a party.
If
or
that's
letting him maybe do the
gonna
next obstacle.
Yeah, so that like depends on the dog, because Sprint would be pissed. That would be the, like, she's like, well, never doing a nice teeter for you again. That ended terribly for me. Versus if I, like, if she did a great teeter and I was able to give her a dog walk after a teeter, that'd be like, nah, right, brilliant. So that depends a little bit on the dog. Like, what do they actually want in that moment? But yeah, I think those are the 2 ways I would go about that. Is seeing if him coming off of it is really a problem, and then also setting him up. Because, like, you know, like, you've got the data that says the first one is going to be hot.
Yeah, especially with a hot entry. Like, if I have a wrap to the teeter, you know, it's not going to be a problem. But if we're straight tunnel to a teeter,
that sort of thing.
If I trust him, like I want to be able to trust him, or try to run him like a big dog, not baby everything, but
Yeah.
I also
And I'm
don't
just
want him
saying,
to fail all the time either.
right, exactly. So baby him the first one, because what ends up happening is we ask them like adults, and then we baby them the second time and they're correct, and then we move on. They never actually did it being an adult. So baby them first, show them, prove to them that they can do it, and then ask them the adult question.
So if the course was set up in a way that I was pretty confident he would fail, even this weekend, like I should probably help him.
Yes. Like if you have that very speedy approach that you're pretty sure that's going to lead to the sliding off the edge, I would help him somehow. And then ideally, you'd ask him again with the speed.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And again, UKI is friendly enough that I can do all these lessons.
Exactly. You can just kind of modify the course however you want and make that work. But that's
yeah, I didn't want to do like specific FEO because I just know I'm different, so he'll be different. So I wanted it to be like actually in courses. If I just go out there and quote unquote train the teeter, I'm not going to get the same result.
Exactly. So and that's the other reason why I want to go. I want to baby them first and then ask them, because it's almost human. Even if we ask them the adult question, and then they get it wrong, and we go back and we try to ask them the exact same question, it's almost impossible. We're far too human. We're going to help them because we don't want them to get it wrong. But if I've helped them the first time, now we both have evidence that you know what you're doing, and then the second time I am more likely to ask the question that I want to ask. And then if you do that enough, you're going to eventually get to a point where you just test. You go, okay, I'm going to ask you to do the adult thing the first time, and they're like, yeah, I can do this. What's your problem? And you are also more confident because that's what you witnessed. The first time I ask you the adult question, you get it right. The only thing you're eventually omitting is like the warm up, and so I that's the way I want you to think about that.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Jen, Reeves?
Yes, so we did the plan of the space between the 6, right? But he's being really, really thoughtful to get into those weaves. And talked to Alicia, and she was like, that's the place you're gonna be able to catch up on the course. You got to get those weaves knuckled down, girlfriend. She didn't say it like that, but basically it was like that. And so I thought, well, let me go back and see. And by the way, he is much more speedy when I use a toy reinforcer. Much more speedy. But he's had a lot of history of food rewards. He knows what to do, right? So that makes sense that he can work with the toy, right?
Yes.
So I did a bunch of I just did like four reps, 2 on each side, with just one set of weave pulls. And she said to me, every video you send me, you're never really running. You need to be running in those videos, which is true. I'm never really running. She's right. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna do it with one. I tried to split it and put 6 and 6 with a space in between. And all I could get him to do was, if I started running on the 4th pole as fast as I could, he could stay in the weaves. But if I started running right away, he could not get that. He just had a hard time with that. Mm-hmm. So I took all of them away, and I just said, okay, let's just do one. So I did one, and he was fast. He was real good. Then I put another set on there. Mm-hmm. Super. We've only done 4 so far, but really good. His head's down. He's running. He's like getting in there and then chasing me, and I'm way far ahead by the time he's out of the weeds. Is this a good plan? Or
is it working? Is it getting what you want?
Yeah, it is. But I just felt like he was working so hard with even 6 weave pulls. So thoughtful to get in the weaves. And so I thought, well, let's just go. I mean, people hate to go back to the beginning, right? But you got to do what you got to do.
Right. So here are my thoughts. There's no such thing as going back to the beginning.
True, because he knows a lot more.
Right. Here's what agility people struggle to understand. Because everyone's biggest fear is that their dog's going to be slow. But anytime that we're thinking that they are slow, I want you to ask yourself, does the energy that they are giving off match the task that I'm asking for? So far, I've seen you mostly starting him from a catal board or from your side.
Yeah.
When has speed been told to him that that's what it's about?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's fine that
Yeah.
you went back and showed it to him, and of course you had to reduce the number of polls to show him because he had never seen that before.
Okay.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is that
Yeah.
where are they magically coming up with the idea that I do this faster than anything? Where
Right.
like, stop it.
And I'm purposely like asking him for his collar before
Yes.
the meet.
And
then I'm
can
backing
we
up
also
and
just say that collect entries require collection? He's so good at his entries because he knows how to do that. And he was able to add the speed because he already knows what he's doing.
yes, and
But,
it's gonna be like 4 polls last night. I was like, holy crap,
Yes.
buddy.
But if he had started that way, he wouldn't have been able to do
No.
it. So
He would have shut down.
this is
actually.
also like a little bit of a power thing too, that you let her control you a little bit too easily. Like, it worked out this time.
I know I do.
There's
She still can't believe that he hasn't been on a dog walk. She's like, why haven't you put him on a dog walk? I'm
that
like,
sort of thing.
because he doesn't know the teeter yet, and
Yes.
it's not even halfway to height. When it's
Right,
halfway
like-
to height, and I'm not even gonna do the dog walk. I'm gonna do the A-frame.
Yes,
So
so
that-
it's all of those things. Like, we have to be quite careful. It was
I
fine this
know.
time. I think you came up with a good plan. You nailed it. It sounds like it's going well.
Yeah.
You would have done it anyways. Like, you were on this path. The fact that you did it now doesn't matter. Like, it all has to happen. But hands down, the energy matching the task is what I want everyone to keep in their head when they're like, oh, they're going so slow.
Well, the task might require that because it's a really hard task at this moment.
Right, and you just said like food versus toys. Well, duh, because he has to move
Yeah.
his body to collect a toy, and he doesn't
Yeah.
have to like to collect
but he
food.
can't-
He literally has to collect.
Yeah. But he
Right.
couldn't do toys at the beginning. I couldn't even do
Exactly.
toys with him
Because it wasn't matching. The energy
It's too
wasn't
hard,
matching
yeah.
the task. Yes. So you always have to think of it like that. And oh my gosh, the last running A-frame class I taught for FDSA, all of those border collie people were so concerned about their dogs walking back and forth in the box. I'm like, it's just going back and forth in a box and collecting a cookie. Why would they do that fast? This
Yeah,
is not like,
Yeah,
there's no reason for them
Yeah.
to be doing this at full speed.
yeah, that's true.
And so
Sure.
it's definitely that, like, that's why I have all those reinforcers, so that I can specifically go, I want you in this mindset going this fast. This is how much energy I want you to put into this.
Mm-hmm.
If I want you to put more energy into this, I'll ask for it.
Yeah.
And
That's
I don't want you to put more energy into it until I think that you're ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the whole reason to have different ways of reinforcing, is so that you can very specifically ask them for things, and then go from there.
Yeah.
And level of distraction.
Yes.
Remember when you started, you couldn't do it with the bowl on the ground either?
Oh my
Like
gosh.
food in the bowl?
So I was listening to, what was it, 3 weeks ago, Sarah Stroming's podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but it was about, what if your dog was a horse?
Mm-hmm.
If your dog was a horse, would you treat them the same way in the agility ring? If you're gonna have to get up on that animal, would you? It was a great podcast. If anybody has listened to it, but one of the things she said, she took some questions from Patreon, and one of the things that she said, one of the questions was, my border collie gets sticky stocky, and I can't remember the situation, but she couldn't call him off, and Sarah Stroming said, this was an aha moment for me in the realm of distractions, okay? Because the environment is very hard for Striker. It's very, very hard for him. So she said, if your dog is sticky stocky, doesn't have to be a border collie and get crouched. If they're looking at something, they're sticky, right? If they cannot look away from it, they're sticky. And she's like, don't ask him for anything. Go get their collar and walk with them until they can walk like a normal dog, and then start your pattern game. I was like, what? Why haven't I ever heard that before? I was like, my mind was exploding. And so I was like, why? I have been so reactive. I mean, I have to give myself some credit, but I have been a little bit reactive with the environment, because I always, like, when he runs off, I'm like, oh, dadgum, and I just go, oh, dang. And instead of being like, oh, he's gonna run off right now, and going and grabbing his collar and waiting for him, because he never has, if I ask him for his collar, he'll give me his collar. But in that moment, he can't consent to it, right? I just need to grab it, because he's too entranced by the environment. But he does this little, you've seen it on tape a couple times, where he does this little fit throw thing when I grab it. If I just grab it, he does, thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried it out yesterday, and I just waited for him. I was like, yeah, dude, whatever. And then he was like, Then he stopped, and I walked a couple steps. He's had a ton of reinforcement for me walking with him with his collar for him. I don't even feel bad because he's had a
run out of the way, but he will stop first. And
And
literally,
dogs
like,
love it when
yeah,
border
I
collies
know,
stop,
and it's
so
super
great.
creepy. But thankfully, like everyone in my area just has like a golden or lab, so it's fine. But like, but
Can't do
it's-
that in an agility trial, Riddick.
I know,
You'll
and
get yourself killed.
it's super weird. It's so like annoying, and like no amount of like from day one, it's been like trying to do like cookie scatter, like whatever. None of that will work. Like literally, I just had to grab this harness and like,
Yes.
like it's just like as soon as I see him get stuck, I like just like pick him up like a suitcase.
Yeah,
and
but
and then he's fine. But it's just like it's like there was a point where I was like, I'm not even gonna bother trying to like give you a key. Like I'm just going to grab you, and it's getting a lot better now actually because I've been doing it for a year and a half basically.
But the thing that was so revolutionary in her comment that I was like, oh my gosh, what she said, grab their collar and then walk with them until they can walk like a normal dog. Then, here's the thing that's revolutionary, then do your pattern game.
Yeah.
So a pattern game for us would be get it, yes, get it, yes, get it, yes.
Yeah, and
Or-
it's part of Worked Up 2.0 and how she's looking at it's not the training quadrants, it's their mental state quadrants. Like there's one quadrant that they're in that feeding doesn't work for.
It's about
So-
time
There's
somebody
a lot
said
of
that.
quadrants.
It's about time somebody said
Right.
that.
So there's
But
like
definitely Stevie's
it's
talking about.
right. So there's these four like positive, negative, and whatever the states are. I don't remember. I don't have to. I understand how to apply it, but I don't know the words. And so basically, you've got these four things, and you can, if the dog is here, you can go this way or this way, but you can't go across. And so, like, if you're here, feeding, like, if you're in this one, feeding doesn't work for either direction, but if you're over here, feeding might work for here, right? Like, so she's got a whole thing now. And so it's not just like, right, because it should be that way. Like, it's evolved. And, so we first have to, like, if they're here and we need them here, so grabbing their collar gets them to one of these places that now food works for, which is why she says do the thing and then you can feed them. So
But you have
go
to
to Worked Up
reinforce-
2.0 if you actually want to know what I'm talking about.
But you have to reinforce that that collar give is so
Yes, right, like
vital.
that is actually like
You have to have
we
it
talk
done.
about this. I mean, Sarah and I see each other 2 or 3 times a week, and we talk about it constantly. Is that nothing we say on the surface works without the communication system behind it. So yeah, you're right. Walking up and grabbing their collar doesn't work if it's conditioned to be bad for them, right? So it's not going to work unless the communication system behind it is already established. And like, so that's when like convincing people to come this way. They're like, yeah, this sounds great. Oh, I have to change a lot about what I'm doing. Ooh, I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that. I still want to make my dog, right? So
That is so frustrating. That's so frustrating.
I actually don't care. I'm not worried about those dogs. Like, I can't be. I used to be that person who got frustrated and cared a lot and like cried for those dogs that are being made to do agility, and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Yes, they should have more choices, but it's gonna be okay because their lives are actually probably fine.
Better than being on the streets.
Right. So like, yeah, it's fine. I am not gonna lose sleep about it, and I'll get them when they're ready. No big deal. I got plenty. Y'all are keeping me plenty busy. But it just taking on the surface. So if the dog is sticky, going up and grabbing their collar doesn't necessarily fix it if everything else that goes with grabbing their collar isn't also trained and a part of the communication.
And I think also that shows that you need to update and refresh your essential skills many times. Like, you need to be like, you know what, this week I'm going to work on, or whatever. However,
Yeah.
you as a like, they will. It's like it's a skill, right? They do great. You got to keep it up.
Yeah, they do. It's everything. But if it's not in your, like, but that's why, right? So it has to be a part of your everyday if it's going to be a part of your solution. Like we have, like the more skills you and your dog have, the more solutions you have available to you. Hands down.
Well, I just have to say that picture of you and Sprint, and she's looking at you at the start line.
Oh, I love that one.
She's
made
so
me
cute.
cry. I
She's
was
like,
She is so, her neck is so bendy. She's like a giraffe.
I am ready to. I'm ready, Mom. Let's go.
she's a cheetah giraffe hybrid.
That's true. Riddick is a giraffe. I'll post a video of him doing his spins on the dog walk where he's like,
Yeah.
legs are trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I mean it happens. But that sort of thing, like exactly that. Like that has been in there from the day I brought her home.
And that's the thing. Like people look at that, and they're like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Hey, that's actually
That it's
part
not sweet at all. She's actually threatening me.
No, like that's part of your communication system, right?
She's actually like, if you
She's
do
pushing
not,
you. She's like,
if you do
pushing
not lead out right now,
Exactly.
is what she's saying.
But don't you want that? That's what we want.
Of course
right?
I do. I'm
Yeah, but people don't see that. They don't see that took work.
It's-
I'm sorry. I just get
You're fine.
frustrated. I get frustrated because Strider and I, we have a lot of skills, but people consider what we have to be I'm like, hey, whatever.
back to power.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Stop
Whatever,
giving
yeah,
them your time.
yeah.
And
Well,
go
you know,
train your
Agility
collar.
class today at a ripe old age of 19 months. Like I literally like said to Laura, like, this is his first group agility class ever. And she was
Well,
like,
that makes me feel good, Celine. That makes me feel really good because we haven't taken any group agility classes except for the one that was a disaster when he was like, I don't even know, 7 months old or whatever. Maybe he was 8 months old. But this is the thing. We've taken like on leash classes with the club or whatever, and people would be like, he is crazy. He's a disaster. I bet you're so mad. Like so many negative things. And the last time we got into class with the club, they were like, oh my gosh, what did you do with him? He like earned his fit dog title. They were like, how is this? He's a different dog. I'm like, no, he's the same dog.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it could be a little bit the opposite here sometimes because I met, not all for sure, I don't want to paint with a broad stroke, but like, there are some agility competitors that I've seen their dogs, and I'm like, you don't at all, like not even loose leash, like, no walking, like your dog is like slithering across the room, and I'm a little more like, maybe you should have higher standards for your like other stuff. Like the agility seems to be going great, maybe, but like I'm kind of like the opposite in my area. I'm like maybe a little judgy about the like spaces in between stuff because I just can't imagine like tolerating that for a long time. Like of course, like when they're young and adolescents, they're shitheads, but like when they are debuted and like trained regularly running, I'm like, oh, that dog trials? Like that dog doesn't even walk on a leash. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. There's a difference, yeah. But
So
no,
that's actually like, put this at the top of the list while we're talking about like, I don't know how to write the lesson for this in essential skills, but the skill is your dog has skills and no other dog at the agility trial does, and your dog needs to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're wild
The
animals.
only dog Sprint had an objection to on Sunday was the one that was like, if I was doing like my ready to work, it was like hitting the end of its leash,
Yeah.
lunging at her,
Yeah.
and she is like, I can handle this. I can teach it a thing or two.
She was okay
I'll
with
be
that?
very no, I wasn't. I don't want her thinking that she can go kill
Right.
that dog. So
Right.
I
Oh, she was like,
Don't
I
worry
can
about
take care of it.
I can take care of it. So like basically I would just like see where that dog was like gonna hang out, wait for his run, and like go the opposite of it, because she can deal basically now. Like her first trial, she had like some issues with dogs just getting excited at the ring.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that can't be any, like we worked on that like a lot. Like that can't be any of your business. I understand. I want them to have downstays too. I know it's not fair.
I know,
like,
right?
you
I know
just-
they're being very pointy and soft.
Yes, I was like, I understand. We've all been there. You know, we like, well, all humans learn at some point. So we had talked about it, and we're working it out. And so now, like last Sunday, she like I said, the only one that she really had an objection to was being stupid at her.
Oh, that's so hard.
Right? It was really hard.
I don't know.
I
don't
just
think-
avoided it for her, like because I also like I don't necessarily want her. I don't want her like engaging, right? But I don't want her completely ignoring. Like I want her to be aware if some dog is gonna get her. Like
Yeah, that's the problem.
So I'm also always aware of like, is this normal dog behavior? Because if it's normal dog behavior, I'm just gonna help her out with management. I know that dog's a problem. That dog's gonna be a problem its entire life because it's allowed to be a problem, and then enter the ring. So I know this story and I know how it ends.
Yeah.
Like, I've lived it. Like, right? But we all have to live it and then do better the next time.
Exactly. You don't, if you know you have a few dogs that zoom on you or a couple dogs that zoom on you, you say never again, and you
and so I'm very aware. And I'm very aware of it now because I now have a dog that will not handle it if another dog leaves and comes into the ring with her. Like, she's not going to be okay with that.
If another dog
chased her in the ring, like if another dog left,
like
we did the 2 ring events, or if like she's finishing up and a dog visits her, I'm aware. I'm aware. So it means that so basically, I am very I wouldn't enter her otherwise. I'm very confident in her beginning of run and end of run routines.
Okay.
That I know she's getting on the leash as soon as she finishes. Like, she understands that. And so she's not, we're not futzing around. She's not tugging on it. I'm not trying to get it out of her mouth, trying to get it out. Like, I'm not, and also she's very relaxed post-run. That was also part of the end of run routine. So like, that way she's like, Smack was psychotic at the end of a run. Like, the fact that he never did get like visited as he's like latched onto his tug and I'm like dangling him, trying to get the leash out of his mouth or like put the leash on around what's also in his mouth. Like, he's got a bit and right. So I know what it looks like to do it not great. So that was like number 1, is that I need to get her out of the ring as soon as possible because I don't trust everyone else.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So that routine is so solid that she lands and she relaxes, she gets her leash on, and then we can go be excited outside the ring.
Yeah, I need to do that with Start. We haven't even gotten that far.
Right, no, and there's no reason to really yet. And same thing with the start. Like, that's why the eye contact is so important to me.
Yep.
Because if she's looking around, then I don't think she feels comfortable.
Yeah, that's the same thing with him. Same thing.
I want I don't even think she noticed that there was another ring going on. And part of me is like, are you gonna notice at some point? Or is this who you are? You're fine. Like, so I can't control everyone else. I can only prepare her as best as possible for what might happen. And I know she's not like, so I give her the skills to ignore other dogs that are getting amped up. I protect her as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to be in the middle of a run and some dog joins us, she's got a really good lie down, she's got really good recall, and she will default to come to me. Like, she's not the kind, she's the hypersocial and aggression are they're back to back. They're not on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to, like, her default her preferred method of dealing with it is to just go away. Like, she would much rather avoid than aggress. So
that's
like,
not you, huh, Strider?
Well, I mean, she's been through. They can learn too, that because there was a point in her adolescence where her default was to aggress, and I gave her a different way. I gave her a different option. Now her default is to avoid and crawl into my skin. She's like, well, then if I can't use my teeth, then I need you to handle it. So that's kind of what I bank on, is that if a dog were to chase after her or visit her in those situations, she would default to her training.
So did you use none of your business and not now with that, or what did
Basically.
So if I'm doing that, then I'm teaching him to do that.
Yeah, and
I'm doing those things,
you will handle it. Like,
and then I'm also giving him a go see, like, go see, not now, mind your business when you're staring.
And that I will always handle it.
Yeah.
You will never be asked to deal with a situation like that.
Okay.
Because that was never my goal. Like, if I magically got sent, I guess it was like part of this fantasy that I would get this border collie that's like dog park safe.
That's what I thought too.
Don't you snort at me. It was a nice idea.
He's a golden.
Right.
I thought that I was gonna get that.
Like,
I think, with your golden, that's a legit.
Yeah,
that's a legit goal. But for the border collie, I don't know if that was ever a real goal.
I know, you know what I mean. Because like, I've just trained myself to like show up to group training days like a little bit late, because while everyone's setting up, they're like, dogs are running free and like running around with each other, and I'm like,
that's not okay. Yeah.
Well, there were
Frank and I
at one point today. It was like someone running a tiny little loop with like her Sheltie, while like another person was like working on a dog walk thing, and I was like,
that would never happen.
And I mean, they got there were two small dogs. It was like a pat me on and a small Sheltie, but I was like, oh my god, never.
Right, like
I feel like- I feel
I've
like
got
that's the-
some problems with that. But like when I did, because like Smack just would have been, was like he could obviously go on like walks with other dogs, like that's not a problem. But he's very like he was very much like wanting to herd the other dogs. So like continuing to walk, so like just standing in a circle, like socializing and dogs running around, not for him. He's gonna nip someone in a playful way. Shock just doesn't enjoy it. She's very dog neutral. She doesn't want to go up to other dogs. She doesn't want dogs going up to her. She's only there for the people. So same thing. She can walk with other dogs really successfully, but just standing around in a circle and everyone like hanging out, someone's going to offend her. And Shrek just is weird. So like, yeah, it was kind of like this pipe dream. I'm gonna have the dog that like she can be social. That didn't happen. So now it would have been nice to have, but it was never like necessary for me, right? I don't need her to be social. I don't need her to like dogs. I don't need her to like other people. I just need her to not be afraid of them and not kill them. I need her to ignore them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she doesn't even like, she's got a couple of dog friends that she can go say hi to, but I'm also like not interested in on leash.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So
that's
it's mostly
troublesome.
just like a hi over and we keep walking. Like I don't do like on, also he's a pug and she's a border collie. Like I'm not gonna let that play out. They say hi and she's like all happy and we're good. And same thing with people. She's got a few people that I'll let her say hi to if she wants to, and that's about it. Everything else I prepare for whatever she needs to be able to do in that situation for neutrality. Like sitting next to another dog on the podium, I'm gonna have to train her for that. Like those types of things.
Yeah.
Not because I need her to pose, like it would be great if I could pose her with all the other dogs and her not look like a weirdo.